Hey y'all, it's Day. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. While you're here, I'd like to invite you to visit my website where you can learn more about me and my offerings. If you'd like to book a reading with me, you can do so through the All You Can Ask Oracle Den. It's 2 hours long. You don't have to use it all at once, and the minutes do roll over. If you're wanting fixed candles, you can visit Day Royale's intention setting store, which is hosted by Etsy. I have many different candles that are made for those of us that are identity shifting. I also have free resources for anyone that needs them, as well as different articles that you can read through of interviews that I have done over the year so you can understand the context, my thought form, and thought processes behind my readings. If you're wanting to contribute towards my message, there are many ways to do so. And if you want to follow me on the gram, that is the best way to stay up to date on what is happening for me in my daily routines on a daily basis. I also have fun activities for you guys and other aspects of my work that will help give you a better scope of who I am and what I'm doing currently. Thank you and enjoy your reading. Hey y'all, it's Day. So I'm gonna be doing a reading for us today. Very much looking forward to this reading. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I think I'm gonna be using this deck for the last time in a little while, and I'm gonna move on to other decks after this one. So excited for whichever one I choose next. But for now, angels, guides, ancestors, God, God source, and benevolent energies that stand in truth and love. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the guidance. Thank you for the protection. Please continue to guide and protect us as we walk our path. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. As I'm shuffling this cards, I'm just getting this feeling of someone finally getting to an emotional state or being able to embody an emotional state where they are so sure of themselves. So just for a moment, I just felt this, I'm hearing complete peace within the body where it's just like, I'm sure of myself regardless of my circumstance. I'm sure of myself regardless of whatever is going on around me. And it felt so nice. And that's something that I've been practicing, trying to embody myself. More so, really, just feeling at peace regardless of other things that I have going on in my life that are kind of dependent on things outside of myself. Okay, so we got a lot of cards coming out here. Interesting. Okay, so we'll start with the top of the spread. At the top of the spread, we have the Hierophant, which is coming through as the Bishop Mason. So we have the I want to say the High Priestess. We have the Hierophant, and on the right of that, we have the Knight of Cups coming out in reverse. Very interesting. Yeah. So with the Hierophant coming out upright, it's definitely this energy of, I'm hearing the word repressed. So there are or have been in the past, and we're stepping more into the embodiment of exercising our knowing. And exercising our knowing is just kind of like knowing what is inherent to you. You know that you're worthy. You know that you deserve more. You know that things are possible for you. You know that things will open up for you. You know that everything that's happening is for your greatest good. Just holding this inherent knowing, embodying that, is coming through with the Hierophant coming out upright. And with the Knight of Cups coming out in reverse, I think that may be speaking to some of the anxiety that still kind of comes up. It might come up in waves or at different points. Obviously, we know that we are human, so our moods fluctuate, our level of optimism fluctuates at times. And so, as we're stepping more into our knowing and our Hierophant energy, there are still those times where we kind of like realize the valleys and the peaks, and we notice when, one day we might be very optimistic and feel like we can accomplish all of our goals just for the following day for us to not feel as confident. And so, since we are aware that that is normal, that that is something that happens, it's kind of like whoever this message is for, you have already experienced so many wins. You have already gone through so many different obstacles and challenges where things did work out for your favor, and things did come together. So if this message is for you, you already know that it's going to be important to kind of remind yourself of those times where you were feeling a little pressed for time or crunched, and you weren't sure, if things were going to come together or how it was going to come together, but it did. And that's going to continue to help us navigate and embody this Hierophant energy. So with the Knight of Cups coming out in reverse, there's still some immaturity, there's still some development, personal development, that is going to be needed as we're navigating these next few weeks, I'm hearing. So these next few weeks, for whoever this message is for, there may be a couple of interactions or situations that come up that kind of test your temperament, is the way that it's coming through. And there is a reference to attitude. So being mindful of our attitude regarding things, how we navigate things, is going to be very important. On the left of the spread, we have the High Priestess coming out upright, as well as the Five of Swords coming out upright. With that, with those two coming together, there's definitely this energy of the Empress. She's provided for. She understands the relationship that she has to nature, and that nothing in nature rushes, yet everything is accomplished. So her understanding of time is going to be different from a lot of other people. And she's able to navigate things easier than some other people do, because she's always immersed and surrounded by nature. If you probably already know, in the traditional tarot, it's kind of like a mystery as to is the Empress expecting, or is she not expecting? Is she just, that's just the form of her body. So with her allegedly or possibly being pregnancy, that if she were, that would just be another signification of, pregnancies take time, process to develop. So spiritual team is coming through very clearly to say that it's going to be very important for us. I'm getting this month to remain or embody Empress energy. And in this deck is called the Big Queen. The Big Queen. So there is a level of assurity I'm hearing that she has. She's not, biting her nails and being nervous. There's something about knowing that things will get done. And true enough, the Empress, it might be because she has so many people working for her. But even within, there's a level of confidence that you have in the people that you allow into your courts. So, with the Five of Swords coming out upright, I'm hearing temperament. There may be some situations that would call for us to kind of like be mindful of what we say, how we say it, how quickly we respond to things as well. So if you notice yourself in the next couple of weeks, like really quick to respond to something, that somebody upset you or something is not right, to take a moment to really reflect on if that is something that's going to be beneficial for you long term. I'm not necessarily getting a regret, like you're going to say the wrong thing. But again, it is about temperament, and it feels like a challenge that is going to be beneficial for us. It's like character building. It's like you would probably be able to look back at it and identify, maybe I should have slowed down a little bit, or I didn't have to say that because this ended up working out anyway in my favor. And I'm hearing the word exception. So there may be a certain situation that we wouldn't otherwise be able to navigate, but for whatever reason, our spiritual team, the divine, is something about this obstacle, this inconvenience, actually put you in the better position to get the thing that you actually desired. So communicate, send those emails, have open communication for sure. But it's just like being mindful of being jolted or, acting off an impulse, something like that. With it being combined with the Empress, there's definitely this energy of there's this energy of, yeah, I just heard assurity earlier, and when I was shuffling the cards, just being so sure that you're taken care of by the divine, if nothing else. So let me see, towards the middle of the spread here we have the 10 of Cups coming out in reverse, and we have the Knight of Coins coming out in reverse. And on top of that, in the choice point position, we have the King of Cups and the Page of Wands. Very interesting. So there is an element, I'm not getting it completely, of some aspect of something that you kind of desire, something about it may be changed, and I'm hearing neutralized. So it's definitely giving me this energy of like one option might close or not be available to you. And I'm hearing the word sustainable. And one option or something that you desire may not be sustainable, although you desire it. And there is this energy of we may have been attached to it. So I'm also getting this energy like maybe someone expected to move this month or next month, or like they intended on something happening and they've identified with it, but for whatever reason it's just not working or it's not coming to pass or something. And so there's something else, and it just feels like I'm feeling as I'm looking into it, feeling into it, is just kind of like I don't see what the other option is. So whoever is experiencing that, you might feel like, well, I don't know what the other option is, but it's kind of like spiritual team is bringing to our attention. It's just because you were just so attached to it happening this way, or you were so attached to moving to this apartment, or having, something very specific. So just be mindful of our ideals. With the Knight of Coins coming out in reverse, it does seem like it's a reference to a relationship or some type of bond that someone may have with someone else. There may be a period of time where you and someone that's important to you may not be getting along as much, or something. I'm hearing lines crossed. So there may be a situation where the lines get crossed between you and someone, I'm hearing, that you trust. And Page of Wands in reverse. Yeah, something about this situation, like if you're wanting to see something happen and I'm seeing that it's not going to be completely gone. It's just like some aspect of it is not what you want or not accessible. So it kind of takes your spark away. It kind of takes your motivation away in a way with the Page of Wands. Yeah, obviously, if someone's plans is not gonna go the way that they think it was, and they were excited about it, then you can kind of lose motivation in a way. So, spiritual team is encouraging us to maintain our momentum, maintain our optimism. And if we are able to do that and exercise that during this time, that's going to make us even more powerful. It's going to be exercising our knowing, and knowing that regardless, what the 3D is showing us, clearly, if it's not working out, then the divine has another plan and something else is going to open up for us. So, love that for us. Then we have the King of Cups coming out in the resistant position. I'm hearing the word stubborn. Yeah, something about it not the plans changing a little bit. Like I said, we just got over identified with it, and it might take a little bit of time for us to process it. But spiritual teams like, don't let it be too long. Like, you don't want to be moping about it for days or anything like that, because it was never meant to be that. Okay, so directly underneath this Knight of Cups and the Hierophant, we have the Strength card coming out in reverse. Something about the Strength card coming out in reverse is making me feel like, yes, it's a little bit challenging, but it just kind of feels like that little homework assignment that you've been procrastinating on, but it's not even that much. And you might be like, I'm procrastinating on it, but it's not even, the assignment's not even that deep. Like, it's not that hard. It's just that I don't feel like doing it, and I've been putting it off. I'm procrastinating on it. So something about this situation is not going to be so hard and so jarring for us. And I'm being reminded of meditation. So for whoever this message is for, you're not new to this. You're true to this. You've, like I've said earlier in the reading, you've went through challenges. You faced obstacles before. You're remembering that there were so many other times where you're like, I don't know what's going to happen. What am I going to do? And it all worked out, and you're reminding yourself of that. So you're kind of like a pro, which is why the Hierophant came out upright to begin with at all. But again, with the Knight of Cups um, coming out in reverse, it's just kind of like the spiritual team is saying, like, we see you, we see what you're doing here. You've been exercising your knowing, you've been meditating, you've been keeping up with that, whatever the modalities look like that help you exercise your knowing. I don't know if it's praying, exercising your faith through visualization, making candles like I do, writing in your journal, going on your meditation walks, sitting in silence, listening to meditation music. I don't know what those practices are for you, but whatever that you have been doing, it contributes to why your Hierophant energy came out. And so it's kind of like I'm hearing arsenal, like you already have your toolbox of things, modalities, practices, exercises that you do so that you can maintain your temperament and optimize your level of optimism for life as you pursue your goals and pursue your daily tasks and things. So yeah, this is just like another task, but it's not anything that is going to be so shocking, so surprising, nothing that's going to seriously like rock your boat or anything. So love that for you. On the right of the spread, we have the Queen of Cups coming out in reverse. So we may sit on things, have to process things a little bit longer than spiritual team feels like should be required at this time, at this stage in our lives. So just notice when things upset you and you've been having a good day, or at the start of your day things upset you. Just kind of notice and be aware of how long you really let it sit with you, and just try to make more effort to using those modalities in real time to help you get out of it. So that could be using affirmations like, I don't know, you miss your bus or something. You're like, everything happens in divine timing. Everything is working out in my favor. Obstacles do not defeat me. Whatever that looks like for you. Because it just looks like we can really sit in an energy and just like really be upset, or we can really ruminate about something that was said or something like that. And spiritual team is just wanting us to refine our temperament a little bit more. Then we have the Ace of Wands coming out in reverse, accompanying it. And this is saying directly that spiritual team is like, when you're in this energy, not saying that they can't or it's not possible, but it just definitely makes it easier for them to help you, to assist you. If you're able to, I was hearing ride the wave. When we're able to ride the wave, so we're not fighting redirection, and we don't really fight the redirection so much in the 3D. Like, it's hard to explain. It's not so much that we fight misdirection. I mean, the direction when it's happening. It's just that we kind of stew in our emotions. And spiritual team is like, give us more to work with by maintaining our optimism. So raising our vibration in the many ways that that can look like serves us well. So we also have the 10 of coins coming out upright. And this is definitely giving the energy of, I'm hearing, keeping the main thing the main thing. It's giving me this energy of understanding the bigger picture. Also affirming, like, often I've been affirming, I am so happy. I am so happy. And I started doing it when I'm kind of in a not the happiest mood, and not a unhappy mood, but kind of like when everything is just fine. Like, there's nothing really exciting going on. There's nothing, bad going on. It's just kind of like, it's just the average, very mundane day, and I'm, just doing my regular thing, but nothing is bothering me. It's not super exciting and spicy and flashy, but it's also not like, oh, I'm worried about this thing. I have to get this thing in. I hope that this person finally responds to me. So I've been exercising, saying that on days when, you know, there's nothing wrong. There's definitely nothing wrong. So I'm just like, I am so happy. I am so happy. I am so happy. And that usually helps me to raise my vibration and to exercise gratitude for what is. I'm so grateful that I don't have a headache. My nose isn't stopped up. I can feel my toes. I can take my own bath myself. My blood is circulating through my body without issues. So it's just like little things like that. I have warm, clean, running water. I have soap, things like that. All the way on the left of the spread, we have the 3 of coins coming out in the choice point position. So again, spiritual team is like, give us more to work with. And if you can raise your vibration and not be like the Queen of Cups in reverse, to have more control, more temperament over your emotions, your emotional state, your level of optimism, that gives us more to work with. So it's kind of like spiritual energy. It's like our spiritual team. And I'm also getting like not just our spiritual team, but our ancestors. Something about us maintaining a higher vibration allows them to kind of collect that energy in some way and make things happen for us. But it's really hard for them to do that for us when we're so dense. Our energy is dense. We're feeling down. We're not optimistic. And, it's really kind of like a fine line between, toxic positivity and just really making the choice to maintain our vibration. So I can't really tell us, everybody's different, what that looks like. But if you're drawn to my channel, you know that it's going to be very important for us to take accountability where we can, because sometimes that's the only kind of leg up that we are able to provide for ourselves to get us out of a hole and into possibilities. So, whatever that looks like for you, definitely, take what resonates. But yeah, so with the 3 of coins coming out in the choice point position, it's definitely giving this energy of, I'm hearing holistic. It's like a holistic way of living, to understand the yin and the yang, the good and the bad, to move forward with gratitude, understanding what is available to us. Like I've mentioned before on this channel, some of the most creative people are the people that don't even have much at all. And them not having all the things kind of encourage them, force them to be able to be creative. And that's kind of like its own blessing in a way. So when we feel like we have less or we don't have enough, it should be a practice for us to affirm to ourselves, like, I always have more than enough. I always have more than enough. I always have more than enough. And it can be really hard. You can notice yourself, different aspects of yourself, like not believing that, not wanting to say that, not actually truly feeling that way. And so if you notice yourself starting to experience like an emotional release, just allow that to happen and keep affirming that. So, yeah, all the way at the bottom of the spread here, we had the 9 of coins. And spiritual team is saying, like, regardless of how you feel, and I'm hearing no. Regardless of how you feel, regardless of what the circumstances looking like, no. And so this is where we get into, you may have seen on other channels where people talk about when other people mess with you, but they don't know that you're divinely protected, or they don't know that, like, where you rank spiritually, like you're spiritually highly ranked, or when your reality is not necessarily reflecting how rich you truly are. But spiritual team is like, you are so rich in the spiritual realm, like you don't even know. That's how a spiritual team be. And it's kind of like they're trying to help us and guide us and communicate with us in the best ways that they can. But it's like sometimes the message that's coming through is like, we're so much more rich and we have so much more available to us, or things coming to us, than we actually realize. But sometimes it's just like other requirements, like that they want us to meet before they can give it to us, because they know that we're not truly as prepared as we think, as we would like to think. So they wouldn't want to give us something that they already know that we're not prepared for. So yeah, so this is how we are looking, and spiritual team is like, give us a little bit more to work with in the form of our vibration, our bubble, our energy bubble, so they can make something happen. And that is coming out in the choice point position. Okay. Then we have the King of Pentacles coming out upright on top of the King of Cups, which came out in the resistant position. And this was where we're kind of like over identifying with something that we wanted to come into fruition. Then we have the Magician card coming out in the resistant position. And we have the 9 of Swords coming out in the choice point position. So this is where different aspects of, like, we don't always recognize that different aspects of what we have to learn how to navigate better is also, it bleeds into other aspects of our life. And I just heard another spiritualist on another channel mention something that was really important. And I think she was saying something to the effect of, our spiritual team doesn't, or God, the divine, doesn't, they're not concerned with how long we have to wait. They're concerned with how we wait. So it's kind of like, while you're waiting for this grand thing to happen for you, are you, just pouting the entire time? So it's kind of like, a lot of people are like, when am I going to find the love of my life? When am I going to get the job, the career that I need? When am I going to be able to get that big break that I need to get? And it's like, even if the divine spiritual team were to tell you, like, yes, you're gonna get the love of your life, but it's gonna be 2 years from now, and we spend the entire 2 years kind of like being upset and feeling lonely, or are we going to accept that it's just not happening yet, but we exercise our knowing and we're trusting in divine timing, and we're keeping ourselves busy in the best ways that we know how? And when I say busy, I mean busy about our purpose, busy about our personal interests, busy about our mission, you know. And so it's more so about how we wait versus how long we wait, as far as mm, our spiritual team, the divine, God, the universe. That's what they're concerned about, because there's no real concept of time for them, or the concept of time is definitely very different for them than it is for us anyway. So time is not even a part of the equation. It's about the lesson. And I've mentioned this before, but a lot of people think that they're waiting on the divine, but the divine is waiting on us. And it's like, it's really like kind of sad, because I feel like a lot of time gets wasted because people are not understanding that concept. Okay, so as far as earlier, I'm hearing the word critique. This reading is a critique that our spiritual team and the divine has for us. They said we are in our Hierophant energy, but they want us to be able to embody it more. And the centerpiece that or another aspect of embodying that, knowing that Hierophant energy is not letting our emotions get the best of us. And something about this exercise of not being so reactive, not being so quick to dart off, and because we know that things will work out in divine timing, and we're honoring the flow of divine timing in nature. That is a character building um, exercise aspect that is going to be beneficial for us to truly integrate, because we have a divine counterpart, a divine partner, and partnerships that will kind of require that of us as well. So it would just make things smoother for us as we start. I'm hearing team building. If we have this patience, if we have this kind of reserve. So I'm definitely getting this energy of someone may have the opportunity to be a leader, to carry a role, and something about them carrying this role is going to be very important for them to be able to um, mind their temperament or navigate things in a professional way, even when those under them are not able to. So, not getting wrapped up in the chaos, not being triggered because someone else is triggered. And I'm hearing divine masculine. There is a partnership coming through for someone, and some, like, in order to show up in this relationship in a healthy way, to give the relationship the best chances of survival. And I'm not necessarily getting like the best chances of survival, but for the vitality of the relationship, for the happiness, for the longevity, for the pleasure of the relationship, it, I'm hearing equally yoked. Um, so this other person may already have this quality, and we may be a little bit underdeveloped in this aspect than they are currently. But if we can meet them at the level that they're at, then that would be even better. Yeah. Okay, so towards the bottom of the spread, we have the Moon card coming out upright. On top of that, Queen of Cups in reverse and the Ace of Wands in reverse. And we have the Star card. We have the Five of Wands coming out in reverse. Yeah, we have the Free Man, which is the Fool card. And we have the Six of Coins coming out in reverse. Yeah, so the Six of Coins is like, in order to have the best quality exchanges with other people, some other people, they may not be able to meet you where you're at, or there may be other people that are not as not on the same level as you as far as maturity and how to communicate. But spiritual team is assigning us to kind of be an example of what that looks like. So it requires for us to actually kind of step up more, because whoever this message is for, you're already going to be taking on some type of leadership roles. And so we're not necessarily where we should be, but it's going to be beneficial because they already see us as leaders, and they want us to be good examples for the other people that will be over supervising, leading, and interacting with. Something, oh, I'm hearing disposition. So yeah, we need to just, the Fool card is coming out is because when we get attached to things that we are trying to make happen for ourselves, we actually are limiting ourselves, or we're putting a chain and ball on ourselves because we're already closing off other options. Because I said, I'm going to work at this place. I want a job at this place. I want to live at this place. And it's like, spiritual team is like, it's really good that you were able to zero in on what you want, but also don't forget to leave space for the divine, because when things don't necessarily work out that way, because we have a higher divine plan for you, you won't be stuck in this disappointed emotion with the Queen of Cups coming out in reverse. You will remain a free man, knowing that regardless of what reality is reflecting to you, that things are always working out for you in your favor. Everything is always working out in my favor. Things are always working out for me in my favor. The divine is always working things out for me in my favor. With the Five of Wands in reverse, it's just kind of like this standstill energy where two or more people may not be open to, they're not inclined to kind of hear the other side or be collaborative because they have already decided that they don't like you. Not you specifically, but just a situation where, people are just not open to hearing, they're not really open to hearing the other side because they already decided. So you may be encountering or experiencing yourself where you might hear something that you don't like and you're just like, it's a no for me. So just being able to navigate those situations professionally, utilizing your faith and your temperament, is gonna be important. Kind of like what we learned in customer service, you get that person on the other side of the line and you just choose to emphasize with them. You still remain professional, and there is still this level of detachment that you have because you know that they're not really mad at you, but they are frustrated. So you just maintain a level of professionalism with them. You don't try to harm them. You don't try to make things more difficult for them. You just politely, notate the account, send the account over to a supervisor, whatever. So spiritual team is saying that they want us to be able to continue to do that, without getting attached to where things are sitting with us. We're not stewing and ruminating, taking things personally, essentially. Okay, we will be rewarded for that. The energy will be alchemized if we are able to follow through on these practices, to follow suit. I'm hearing so many positive things. I'm hearing reassurance again. So in this, the grandchild, this is the star card. So the divine is covering us as we maintain our faith. So just know that you are protected as you're doing your daily tasks. Especially when you're doing your best. You're in God's hands. So with the moon card coming out on top of the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Cups, as I heard earlier, this is a critique. This is what our spiritual team has to say to us and what would be beneficial for us to work towards right now. So I hope that we take heed for this. Might have to listen twice and truly take effort into integrating it. I know I will. Let me see if we have any closing. Is there anything else that we need to know regarding this message? In closing, is there anything else that we need to know? I'm hearing the word gather. Yep. See, we got the Four Cups. This is kind of the energy that we can be in. Sometimes we're just like, I don't even want to do this anymore because this is not going according to my plan. Like, I'm uninterested. I'm just like unmotivated. Like, this is not what I wanted. So we're definitely giving spoiled brat by spiritual team. And yeah, our pleasures, this is like our sensual pleasures. These are things that we identify with. We have money, we have jewelry here. We have, I don't know what this is. It might be something to smoke, cigarettes. We have alcohol. We have an alligator head, which is representing protection, I believe. We have sunflowers. And basically the Nine of Baskets in this deck, the Hoodoo Tarot, was representing our pleasures, things that we like to indulge in with the Nine of Cups on a daily basis. We like to be able to travel. We like to feel like we have some level of mobility, some level of free will. We love to eat. We love, what's this, is a passport? Oh, that's a passport. We like to travel. We like to feel a sense of protection, whether that's through our partners, like, oh, he protect me, or, your identity, your education, somehow makes you feel more elevated. jewelry, you know, status, aesthetic, our beauty. These are things that we kind of like identify with, especially when it comes to our personal goals, dreams, hopes, and desires. But sometimes there's just like another, you know, a bigger, greater plan. So we may be perceiving it as delays. As I mentioned, you know, spiritual team, they are on a different time. So it's about how we wait, not how long we wait. And spiritual team is bringing that to our attention again. Three of Wands in reverse. Yeah, so we may have our own personal plans, but just remember that the divine has the greatest plan. And this coming out in reverse, and then the Queen of Swords coming out in reverse. It's like there are certain things that we don't call judgment on. We're all having to, we all have, you know how they say, we all have someone to answer to. It's kind of like we are still like, sometimes spiritual team be like, yeah, use your free will. Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, you got authority in this situation, right? That. And other times just like, we gotta, divine says sit down. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Angels, guides, ancestors, God, God, source, and benevolent energies that stand truth and love. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the guidance. Thank you for the protection. Please continue to guide and protect us as we walk our path. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.